Greetings, everyone. It is I, Josh Delagrange, here to bring you another video. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but of course you've heard the story about the Saturday Night Live writer who was pretty much canned from her job after she tweeted out that Barron Trump would be the first homeschool shooter. Now, she thought this was funny because she made it as a joke, but the joke is on her because basically, did she forget? Did she forget that we had school shootings? That families of victims of kids who were killed by a shooter at schools. You know, and then another Comedy Central writer decides, hey, I'm going to make fun of Barron Trump as well, so I'm going to call him, oh, he's going to grow up and be a fine child rapist or a rapist. Rapists aren't funny. Yeah, some rape jokes are still funny, but the fact that you're calling somebody basically a rapist is not funny. I suggest people start using their brain, you know, that gray matter that's in their skull, or else I'm going to start calling them dumbasses every time they tweet out something that is pretty much a dumbass way of tweeting. Honestly, Trump is our president. And I'll just point out this fact. A former White House staff member decided to make fun of the Obama's daughters. You know what happened to her? Well, she got fired from her job. And the reality is, you don't say things you don't mean to say, and you don't say something, because one thing is, words you can't take back. Well, the Saturday Night Live writer decided to quit social media altogether, but she left up only one tweet apologizing for her behavior and the fact that it was insensitive to say this. Because, you know, people criticize her, and they had a right to criticize her. Even President Trump had a right to criticize her. After all, he's the president. President Obama criticized a lot of people on the right. And, you know, he had a right to do so because he's the president of the United States of America. Do people forget this? That when you say something, even if you say, well, I didn't mean to say it that way, or, oh, I took it out of context, like, you know, like Madonna claiming, or, well, saying, I thought awfully a lot about blowing up the White House. That's like asking somebody to shoot you, or ban you for life, because guess what's going to happen? And she is being investigated by the Secret Service, and she should be, because honestly, as many people would point out, this is pretty deranged to say this. Did any thought come out of you? Did you think about it, or did you just think, you know what, I have freedom of speech, I can say whatever I want, and I'm not going to be held accountable for it? Well, guess what? Freedom of speech only covers so much. It's like I said about hate speech. It doesn't exist, except when people don't like what you're saying. Like, if they hate you, well, that's fine, because I'm hated most of the time. But the reality is, these people need to start using their brain and think about what they're saying before they do it. I mean, it's like I do. I don't say everything that I want to say, because honestly, a lot of it would be negative. So I try to stay positive. I try not to go, oh, well, you know. And it's like right now they're talking about how maybe, possibly, Trump has a mental illness from a shrink or an expert on mental health. You do realize that President Trump, before he became president, even before that, once he became the nominee, both him and Hillary Clinton had to go and get checked out by a doctor to make sure that they're physically fit, they're mentally fit. So if he had any mental problems, do you think those doctors would not say, yes, he has mental illness problems? Then that would mean he'd be an unfit president, because anyone who is mentally ill should not be our president. But I'm not saying that about Trump, so don't mix my words up. But the fact that they're willing to write this crap, and I think a lot of times when it comes from the mainstream news media, they have nothing better to write about. They can't say something positive. You know, they were kissing Obama's butt for 8 years, and I've seen it. I've seen a lot of articles praising Obama. Oh, the health care, it's going to be a wonderful thing. You're going to keep your benefits. You're going to keep your doctors. Remember, that was Obama's promise. Unfortunately, what many people don't realize, and a lot of people said, oh, I'll just wait and I'll pay the fine. Because again, why not? Why can't we just pay the fine? Well, it turns out if you pay the fine, if it's $500 or $1,000 or even more dollars, unfortunately, you're still not covered by Obamacare. That's right. So and people are like, I don't like Trump messing with healthcare. Well, Obama shouldn't have messed with healthcare. It should have been left up to the state. The state should have said, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we'll do to make healthcare more affordable. We're going to cut prices down. That's what they should have let done. So it's not like, oh, Trump was the only one who's messing with healthcare because Obama screwed it up. And after all, Bill Clinton started it. Former President Bill Clinton started the healthcare. Now it's over 220,000 pages. We don't even know what's in it. And if you try to read it, you'll probably be bored to death because it's a bunch of legal mumbo-jumbo crap that no one can understand. Not even a lawyer probably look at it. Just like our tax code. Used to be 30 to 40 pages long. Simplified, easy to understand, easy to read. This is what you can and you cannot do with your business. That was simple. Then it grew to 120,000 pages. Which lawyer do you think is going to sit there and read 120,000 pages of a tax code? No one. I never heard a lawyer say, hey, I sat down and had to read all of it to understand what the hell this is even about. So, I'm just going to say this. Watch what you say on social media. How many times have we stated that? You watch what you say or else you're going to get in trouble. If people want to be in trouble with the law, great. More power to you. Because when the law comes down on you, and it's going to happen, you'll be probably whisked away in handcuffs. And then you'll be like, why did I say that? I mean, honestly, what is wrong with people? I said it before. What the hell is wrong with people on social media? Don't they have something better to do and talk about? Like, oh, you'll see all these trends. Trump is this. Trump is that. Oh, and they say, you know what? If you search the term on Twitter, asshole, it comes up Trump. Oh, I'm sure it doesn't come up with anybody else but other than Trump. And then, oh, Muslim ban. Oh, yeah, that's just all about Trump. The realization is, in order to protect America, you have to be willing to defend her from any threats. And by doing so, you have to be willing to fight for it. And by the way, it's only a temporary ban. While people are talking about this, oh, this no ban, this no travel ban. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people have come into this nation that weren't vetted then. And if they were vetted, it got whisked away, shoved away, whatever. Because our Homeland Security was basically creating a database right here in our nation, fingerprint somebody, photograph them, and then if anything comes up, they could bring up his record and be like, well, he didn't have a record, but now he certainly does because he just did something radical. It's like I said, you gotta protect America. What's more better? Protecting America or just letting whatever happen to America? Because this open door policy has allowed a lot of things to happen that weren't great because of the past administration. Well, I gotta go, so I will talk to y'all later. Have a good evening. And you know what? I try to stop reading these news stories, but I'm gonna call them out for what it is. It's mostly BS because they have nothing better to write. All right, everyone. Have a good evening.